Good evening. Welcome, Hebrew Israelite family of the last days of Babylon's history. Welcome to our Wednesday night current events. Glory and honor to the Father Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, the King, Malak of all Malaks, and Messiah Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son who sits at the right hand of the Father, having paid the penalty for our sin as a sin bearer, and the express image of the Father's person. Praise the Most High. Glory and honor to Messiah Yahweh Shai. Greetings to the 12 awakening tribes of the children of Israel, returning to their God in these last moments before the return of Messiah, the establishment of the kingdom and the destruction of Babylon. Greetings to the souls that have been grafted in among us, grafted into the olive tree of the nation of Israel. Praise the Most High. And also welcome to David, royal house, David, of the house of Yehoiada, Nagid, which is the prince of the house of Yehoiada, Brother David Harris, Sister Jillian, Sister Love Blue, Greg Hamilton, Stephen Kelly, Brother Castle King, Brother Lonnie, Lion of Judah, and Sister Joyce, Baldy Thorpe, Only One Way, Sonia Mills, Sister Judy, Gary Joseph, Brother Gary Joseph, Sister Odyssey. Welcome to all of you as we are, there's so much going on. I hardly know where to begin. Now, a lot of it, of course, Wednesday night, we're dealing with prophecy as it relates to the word, as it relates to current events. Now, the recent thing that has come out is how these Epstein files and the people mentioned in the Epstein files are part of a society of sexual perverts, a secret society of a worldwide network of sex trafficking. Many of the people are children, also little boys and little girls, being trafficked by elites. Now, many people act as if this is all new information. But what I want to illustrate to you is the Bible has been told us about these things. And again, it goes back to reading your Bible. I find more and more on Facebook people that are saying, my people, talking about Hebrews or Black people, were never in sin. I even heard Khalid Muhammad say we were righteous by nature. I don't know where they're getting this from. I don't know what's their standard for that. But what I'm finding is a lot of people are disillusioned with Christianity. And the devil has done a job in brainwashing people to equate Christianity with the Bible. And because of that, when they reject Christianity, they reject the Bible and they reject what they think is the God of the Bible, although they have never actually studied the Bible. But they've only taken what they've learned from a denomination, a church. So there are people that have been molested as little boys and little girls by priests or by reverends or pastors. And because of that abuse, they reject the religion of those people, rightly so. And they also reject the Bible because they equate the Bible with these people. And that's why you'll hear me continually say, start in Genesis and read through to the book of Revelation, praying to the Creator for guidance. Start in Genesis, read through to the book of the Revelation, pray to the Creator for guidance. Because if you're not doing that, you're not actually reading the Bible. You might be reading excerpts. And if you're listening to a pastor or a preacher without the guidance of the Spirit of the Creator, you're being misled. The institution of Christianity does not exist in the Bible. The 3 times that the word Christian is used in the Bible, it's always used with somebody saying they were called Christian. It doesn't say by who. It definitely doesn't say that the Most High called anybody Christian. But when you want to know what the Most High calls his people, let's take a look. We got a lot to cover today. We got a lot to cover as we normally do. But let's start with Genesis. Let's start with Genesis. And we've done this before. And I keep going through this because a lot of y'all need to be able to explain to these people that have been brainwashed and ignorant. And I don't say that negatively. I mean, they're ignorant as to what the Bible says. So they make their own decisions based on their own mind. And then they start saying what they believe or don't believe without really knowing where they get it from. See, the thing is about the Bible is it has a standard. It is a standard of what is right and what is wrong. Now, that doesn't mean people follow the standard, but it tells you what the standard is. The standard, otherwise known as the covenant, is the 10 commandments. That's the standard. That's the standard of what is right and what is wrong. That's the standard. Okay. And so to understand what is truth, again, the Bible is the standard. The Most High Yah, whatever he says in the word is truth. Okay. Whatever he says is truth. Okay. Now let's look at Genesis chapter 17. Genesis chapter 17. I'm going to begin at verse 1 in Genesis 17 and go down to verse 5. From verse 1 to verse 5. Genesis chapter 17 from verse 1 to verse 5. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am Almighty God, or Al Shaddai. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Now, did it say they called Abraham? Did it say some heathen king of Greece called Abraham? How did, according to the word which we believe, this King James Bible is the word of the Creator? So if you don't believe that, you can step. You can excuse yourself now, okay? Because everything we believe is truth is in this Bible. Now, how did he get the name Abraham? Did he make it up? What did the Bible just tell us? It said, neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. So can we now say that the Creator gave Abram the name Abraham? The Creator gave him that name, right? So it wasn't like some group of people from some heathen said he's called Abraham. No, the Father said, your name is now Abraham. Okay, same chapter, verse 15, Genesis chapter 17. We're going to start now at verse 15, starting at verse 15 and going down to verse 21. Okay, now Abraham, at this moment, the Bible already showed us he's 99 years old. Okay, and he had Ishmael, but he ain't have no other children. He's 99 years old right now. His wife is 89. Okay, so now Genesis chapter 17 from verse 15. And the Most High said unto Abraham, now Moses is writing the name was given him, Abraham. As for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. and I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto the Most High, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Yishak. And I will establish my covenant with him, and an everlasting covenant with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Ishak, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time next year. So wait, the boy wasn't even born yet. He was a year from being born. Sarah wasn't pregnant. And so somebody named him Isaac before he was born. So what did Abraham and Sarah look into baby names and said, we like this one, Isaac. Well, how did he get that name? Did somebody look at him and said, oh, he's Isaac? How did he get that name? Did somebody say, well, he's going to be called Isaac? Did some heathen say that? Well, how did he get that name then? Where did it come from? Well, we see it right here. The Most High said, you shall have a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. So now we have Abraham, whose name was given from the Creator. It wasn't man-made, right? And we have Isaac, whose name was given by the Creator a year before he was born, not man-made. Oh, wait a minute. Let's keep going. Let's look at Genesis now. Stay in Genesis. We're trying to find out these names. Now, did the Bible ever say in any place you're going to have a new religion and you're going to call it Christian? That you followers of the Messiah are going to be called Christian? Did the Bible ever quote the Creator as saying that? Never. Okay, he never did. So then we can say that the name Christian came from man. It's a man-made name. What about the term Messiah? Well, we'll get there in a second. Hold on. We'll get there in a second. We're not there yet. Hold on. We're not there yet. Let's stay in Genesis. Genesis. Let me see here. Genesis chapter 32. Genesis chapter 32. Genesis 32. Genesis 32. I'm going to begin at verse 24. Genesis chapter 32, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him unto the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Yasharal, or Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men, and have prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed them there. So where did Jacob get his name changed to Yasharal, which means right with the Most High, which was the blessing he was wanting? Can you assure me I'm right with the Most High after all the dirt I did? Can you assure me I'm right with the Most High? Your name was Jacob, the heel grabber. but your name is now right with the Most High. That's your name. So now you're a prince. Nagid, prince. That's ancient Hebrew for prince. Nagid. That's your name. Yasharah. So, who gave him that name? Did some heathen say, he looks like a Yasharah? We call him Yasharah. So we come to the conclusion then that the names Abraham, Isaac, and now Israel are not given by man. They were given by divine revelation. Can we say that? That the Most High Creator gave these names. Now, in all of this name giving, we never saw the Creator say, this is the name of your new religion, Abraham. Did he say that anywhere? This is the name of your new, we're going to call your new religion Judaism. Did he say that anywhere in the Bible? Again, we're strictly going by this scripture, and no, he didn't give that name to nobody. Therefore, that religion is made by man. It's named by man and made by man, correct? Just like Christianity. It's made by man and named by man. Don't receive anything made by man in terms of a religious sense and created by man. Okay. What about the name Messiah? See, the name Christ, if you look up the name Christ in the Greek, in your concordance, you will see that it says an epithet of Messiah. That's what it says. An epithet of Messiah. Man, I had one guy getting, well, epithet just means nickname. No, sir. That's willful ignorance. Speaking of cognitive dissonance, that's willful ignorance, right? When somebody says, I use the epithet that was racial, you don't think that's just a nickname, do you? No, it's not. It's generally a negative connotation. It's a slur. So Christ is a slur because why is it a slur? Because it's Jesus Christos, which is a Greek god. The Messiah is not a Greek god. The Messiah is the son of the Creator. Anyway, here we are, Daniel chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9. Daniel 9. Let's establish verse 25. Let's take a look at verse 25. Okay? Daniel 9, 25. We're talking about names, man-made ones versus ones from the third heaven. Daniel chapter 9, verse 25 says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. Now, somebody is speaking in Daniel 9:25, and that person that is speaking named Messiah the Prince. Well, who is that person? I mean, how do we know who was speaking there? There's some willfully ignoramuses that will ask that question, but we'll answer it very easily. All you got to do is go a few verses up. Notice what it says in the same Daniel chapter 9, verse 21. Daniel chapter 9, verse 21. Whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. So, who is speaking in Daniel chapter 9 to Daniel? Who is speaking? Gabriel, which is Gabar Al. Gabar Al. Gabar means warrior. Al means the Most High. Gabriel means warrior of the Most High, sent by Yahweh. He said, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. So he came from the Father Yah and Messiah, and he came with the name Messiah. He did not give the name Christos. Christos is a Greek name and a man-made name. It is not a Hebrew name, and it definitely is not Messiah's name. Well, let's keep going. What about Luke? Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter, let me see here. Luke chapter 2. No, Luke chapter 1. Yes, Luke chapter 1. Luke chapter 1. I'm going to begin at verse 26. Luke chapter 1, beginning at verse 26. And I'm going to go down to verse 26 down to verse 33. Luke chapter 1, from verse 26 to verse 33. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from Yahweh unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused with them to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. And the virgin's name was Miriam. And an angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, for Yahweh is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Miriam, for thou hast found favor with Yahweh. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name, notice, Jesus. Again, let me ask you, scholars, brethren, how come we know for sure Gabriel didn't say Jesus? How do we know for sure he didn't say that? 100%. How do we know? Gabriel didn't say that. What did he say? Well, he didn't say that. That's right. There was no J in Hebrew. Brother Stephen Kelly is correct. There was no J in existence. Not just in Hebrew, wasn't in English, wasn't in Latin, wasn't in Spanish, wasn't in Greek. There was no J. It did not exist. J didn't come into existence until the 17th century. The 17th century. You're talking about more than 1,700 years after this. More than 1,700 years after this, the J didn't exist. So you couldn't have called him Jesus. But if you were to look up the word Jesus in the, again, look at your concordance. Let's take a look. Let's say Jesus. And let's take a look and let's look at our one with the what you call that? The Greek or Hebrew in it. Let's say go to the New Testament. And let's look at Jesus. And we're going to see, what does it say? Let's see. It says of Hebrew origin H3091. H3091. H3091 of Hebrew origin. Well, then what's the real name then? I mean, what's the real name of Hebrew origin? What's that? What's the real name then? H3091 is now Yahawashai. Yahawashai or Yahoshua or Joshua, which is no J anyway. So it starts with a Y. It's Yahawashai. It's the letters. When you look at the letters, it's Yahawashai, and that's his real name. So what did actually our brother Gabriel said to Miriam, his name shall be called Yahweh or Yahushua, right? But it wasn't Jesus. So now we see, first of all, Gabriel first called him Messiah, the Prince. And then Gabriel came back and called him Yahweh. Neither was, and it said here, he was sent from Yahweh. Y'all got that? He was sent from Yahweh. So the name Yahweh came from the Most High. The name Messiah came from the Most High. The name Abraham came from the Most High. The name Yasha'ak came from the Most High. The name Israel came from the Most High. And you don't see anything that comes from the Most High called Christian. Beware of willful ignorance, brethren, because it is a plague. It is definitely a plague. Now, yesterday, I had a back and forth with a willfully ignorant, cognitive dissonant. And the willfully ignorant heathen was trying to extol the virtues of one George Washington. And I said George Washington was a racist trick. A rapist trick is what I actually said. Oh, he was just a product of his time. That's what the heathen told me. And I said, no, he was a slave-owning, racist rapist. And he said, if it wasn't for George Washington, you'd still be in the cotton field. And then I said, I laughed and I said, no. And then I said to him, fact is, we're not in the cotton field. And the fact that we're not in the cotton field anymore is the sign of your downfall. So, brethren, he did not want to acknowledge what you see on the thumbnail. Look at this. Slavery, black codes, KKK, Jim Crow, redlining, war on drugs, mass incarceration, 3 strikes law. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That doesn't even include Black Wall Street, right? That doesn't even include the black massacres that happen all over the United States, Ocoee, Florida, right? That doesn't even include St. Louis. That doesn't even include Red Summer of 1919. It doesn't even include all the lynchings that we saw. That's just a short list. And they refuse to acknowledge this. See, that's called cognitive dissonance. Matter of fact, I looked up the word cognitive dissonance and I wanted to see what it said. So I Googled it. It said cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experienced when holding 2 or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes, or when behavior conflicts with beliefs. Signs of cognitive dissonance: mental discomfort or tension, a feeling of unease or guilt. Brethren, are our enemies now feeling uneasy? Next one is rationalization, making excuses to justify behaviors that conflict with beliefs. Are they practicing rationalization, our enemies? Yes. Avoidance, ignoring new information or situation that challenge existing beliefs, ignoring slavery, black codes, KKK, Jim Crow, redlining, war on drugs, mass incarceration, 3 strikes law, ignoring Tulsa, Oklahoma, ignoring Ocoee, Florida, ignoring Philadelphia, 1985, the MOVE organization, ignoring the murder of Fred Hampton, ignoring avoidance. Avoidance, shame or guilt, feeling fake or hypocritical when actions do not align with values. Also, I put some interesting things in the description box. Y'all would want to check these out, I suggest. One of them is a sister that she did a little 5-minute talk on how or why our enemies are uncomfortable. She broke it down. Put the link in the description box. Another one, I've done this one before. I put this out before. It's a link to a file that I created under the name White Decline, which also shows you why they're feeling all of these things. They're not producing enough babies. They know they're not, and they don't know what to do about it, so they trip it. America's Barbaric Cults, I did another video on another folder on that. You can get that in the description box too. It shows you the sex trafficking, human trafficking been going on in this country for many, 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 many decades. It ain't new. Now, what does the Bible say about this thing? Well, I think Castle King already mentioned one of it. So let's go to what he mentioned. Let's look at Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. See, brethren, the thing is, right now, today, there was all over the news today how the Trump administration is preparing for war against Iraq after having had nuclear talks with Iran, and they're preparing for war. Why is this? Because the Trump administration wants your attention on anything else but Epstein. Anything else. They want to direct your attention. He'll do and this is what makes him dangerous, because he knows he's going to be exposed. He's been exposed, and he's going to get more exposed. Because he knows this, he is desperate to have the whole world's attention on something else, anything else but Epstein. Okay, anything else but Epstein. And so he'll go through some crazy things. Not only that, in the past, the United States has made war with countries based on the United States economic situation. So in other words, they've made war with countries to help the United States economically. For example, Vietnam. The defense contractors, Grumman, Electric Boat, Pratt & Whitney, many others, defense contractors, these defense contractors are companies that make other things. But when it's time of war and munitions are needed, they are focused on making war. Like in World War II, the United States did not have a munitions company. They converted car companies and truck companies into weapons of war, making tanks, making planes, making other stuff. So they converted regular businesses into war-making material businesses. But now, after the 1950s, they have consistent war-making materials. Grumman, like I said, Electric Boat, like I said, Pratt & Whitney. Now you have all these companies that are continually just making war stuff. It's a war machine, okay? Now, during Vietnam, defense stock averaged 26% return per year. 26% return per year. Now, if you do some, you don't have to carry the one on this. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you. But if you do the math on this, 26% return per year. There's a formula that will show you how often your money doubles based on the percentage return. Okay, so it's called the rule of 72. It's an old formula. Don't worry about it. But I tell you, at 26% per year, your money doubles every 2.7 years. And so defense contractors were making that. During 9/11, the day before 9/11, George Bush Sr. and some crew met in D.C. at the Carlisle Hotel. The crew was created to invest in defense stocks the day before 9/11. Okay? So they were making plans to make big, huge, millions and millions of dollars of investments in defense stocks. Think they made their money back? See? So it's business. Right now, the United States is in economic problems. Economic problems. People are struggling. Okay, people are struggling. Farmers are struggling. People getting laid off. I was laid off. People getting laid off. People struggling. The cost of life in the United States is exceeding what people are earning, so that you have to have 2 jobs, or you got to have 2 people working and 2 jobs. You got to, there's a lot of things people are trying to do just to survive. So in order to help with that, instead of making true reforms, they'll go attack somebody and take their oil, or take their land, or take their minerals. Let's see. Have they mentioned getting minerals from Ukraine? Yes, they have, right? We can get. We want minerals. We want assets out the ground of your country. Have they mentioned getting minerals, oil from Venezuela? Yes, they have. Have they attacked Nigeria, another oil-rich nation? Yes, they have. Look, when you are defending yourself, right? When you're defending yourself, you take measures to defend yourself, right? So if you know somebody was coming at you, they were coming at your house, you prepare, right? You know they're coming. So you get whatever you need to get, whatever weapons you need to get, preparation, they're coming. That's you defending yourself. If the United States was going to defend itself, it has a right, like any nation, to defend itself. But it is different when you're invading land that's not yours. Do you see the difference, yo? So if I'm got my own land and I'm defending myself, that's different. But if I cross the ocean and somebody's already on land that I want and I kill them and take the land, that's just murder and aggression. Is that correct? That's right. That's just murder straight up. So when Christopher Columbus was discovering everything, he was aggressively murdering, raping, killing. Now, we're seeing it now. Now, usually, when the United States goes to discover someplace or to attack land that's not theirs, they'll usually make an excuse that tells you the United States is being threatened. So George Bush went after Iraq because he said they had weapons of mass destruction, which we found out later never existed. So they were threatening the United States with weapons of mass destruction, so we must be preemptive in destroying them. Donald Trump said they went after Venezuela because they had drug traffic and their president was corrupt and they are a threat to the United States national security. We take their oil. He attacked Nigeria because he said Muslims were attacking Christians. So we need to do that. But all the while, it's just regime change and taking of assets. And the American people that believe him are being what? Cognitively dissonant. The problem they're going to have is that the Most High ain't buying it. It's not buying. They're not buying it. You could be as ignorant as you want or act. He ain't buying it. Again, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So it's telling us this one verse. We're going to get a lot more. We got to get 2 or 3 witnesses. But this one verse is telling us we don't have a battle against flesh and blood. So marching in the streets ain't going to do it. Our battle is on a spiritual realm, spiritual wickedness in high places. And it's against what? The rulers. It's not against common people. Common people getting caught up as pawns. All of us, white, black, everybody getting caught up as pawns. They just don't realize it. No. It says rulers of the darkness of this world. That is the devil's people. Rulers of the darkness of this world. Spiritual wickedness in high places, not just high in terms of feet above elevation, above sea level. We talk about high in terms of power. Power. Wait a minute. So we know it exists. We don't need Jeffrey Epstein to tell us that. What else? Let's go back. Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at the other stuff, like they should say on Living Color. Show them the other stuff. Show them the other stuff. Right, watch. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 18. Leviticus chapter 18, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be at the end. Leviticus chapter 18, beginning at verse 1. Leviticus chapter 18, beginning at verse 1. And I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 4. Leviticus 18, 1 through 4. Keeping in mind what we just read in Ephesians 6:12. Okay, look. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your most high. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahweh, your most high. Then he proceeds to talk about men having sex with their children, grandfathers having sex with their grandchildren, people having sex with their mothers and their aunts and their near kin. Wait, men and women having sex with the same sex, people offering up children to demonic gods. Let's take a look at that one. Leviticus chapter 18, same chapter 18, verse 21, from verse 21 down to verse 30. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Most High. I am Yahweh. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Neither shalt not, am I saying that? Y'all reading the Bible with me? This is Leviticus chapter 18. We just read verse 22. Did I say that? Or did the Bible say that? Now, there's going to be some fool out there saying he's actually taking the Bible literally. Unfortunately, I am. Verse 22, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. Why? For in all these, the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomited out her inhabitants. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinances, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh, your Most High. I don't have to tell you. Everything we just read is happening in the United States. Y'all think I'm lying? Let me ask you, is that a conspiracy theory? That everything we just read is happening in the United States? Is that a conspiracy theory? People sleeping with their kids, their grandkids, offering children up to sacrifices, killing them. Is that a conspiracy theory? And I think Ephesians verifies that. So we can see all of these things. Now, people been saying this. Like, if you were to look at the link I gave y'all with respect to human trafficking, some of these testimonies were done many years ago. And at the time they were done, people began asking questions. And the people in leadership of your government would say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. They had all of the media, all at once, from NBC, ABC, they were all saying, oh, those are just conspiracy theories. Well, nobody is saying that anymore. With this Epstein thing, nobody's saying that anymore. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. But yet, we just read this that was written thousands of years ago about today to let us know this is what's happening. So we shouldn't be surprised. We are not. Maybe the world is. Of course, there's other things we know they don't know, like the return of the Messiah. They're going to be surprised at that too, because the Most High reveals things to his servants. That's it. Okay, wait a minute. Let's show them some other stuff. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 33. 2 Chronicles chapter 33. I'm going to begin at verse 1 and go down from verse 1 to go down to verse 6. Okay? This is 2 Chronicles 33 from verse 1 to 6. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 50 and 5 years in Jerusalem, but did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, like unto the abominations of the heathen, whom Yahweh had cast out before the children of Israel. So what we're going to read that Manasseh was doing, the heathen were already doing. And in fact, based on what we read in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, the heathen are doing it now. And based on what they're bringing out about Epstein, we know on a worldwide basis, the heathen are doing what we're about to read. So let's read it. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 33, beginning at verse 3. For he built again the high places which Hezekiah, his father, had broken down. And he reared up altars for Baalim, that is the sun god, and made groves and worshipped all the host of heaven, that is astrology, and served them. And he built altars in the house of Yahweh, whereof Yahweh has said, in Jerusalem shall my name be forever. And he built altars for all the host of heaven, and the two courts of the house of Yahweh. And he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Also, he observed times and used enchantments and used witchcrafts and dealt with familiar spirit and wizards, and he wrought much evil in the sight of Yahweh to provoke him to anger. Now, again, I ask you, you think these things are being done in the United States? Let me go over this laundry list here. So let's see. Are they causing children to be sacrificed? Isn't that what came out in the Epstein files? What about observers of times, astrology? What about enchantments, spiritual wickedness in high places, and witchcraft, and familiar spirits, and wizards? Are they not doing all these things right now? And yet they're telling us this is new. No, it's not. This is thousands of years old. See, brethren, this is why the 144,000 are being cleansed and prepared so that we will escape these sins. The people that are supporting these sins are people that vote for Democrats or Republicans. You're supporting this because both sides do this. See, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump was in Epstein files. Okay. Larry Summers, a Democrat, and Republicans are in Epstein's file. See, so you support these people, you're supporting what they do. This is what they're doing. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. You think Christian churches are absent from this? Do you think they don't do these things in Christian churches? Do you think Islam doesn't marry 9-year-old girls? Wait, let me ask y'all. Come on, Muslims that are out here, talk to me now. Do Muslims, have arranged marriages? And can a grown man marry a 9-year-old little girl in Islam? Is that legal in Islam? What about Judaism? Is it legal in Judaism for a rabbi to be with a little girl, 9 years old? I'm using the word now because that's definitely a little girl, right? Can they? Do they? So if you're supporting these religions, you're supporting this. You see, Hebrew Israelites, and I'm not saying, listen, I did not say black Hebrew Israelites. The Bible never calls us black Hebrew Israelites. Abraham was not a black Hebrew. He was a black man that was a Hebrew. There was no white Hebrews. Somebody tried to say Moses had an interracial marriage because he married a woman that was foreign. I said, no. Moses was black and his Ethiopian wife was black. So there was no interracial marriage, even by today's standards. That's black on black right there. So Hebrew Israelites of the Bible are followers of the Creator. Now, the Bible calls it taking the name of the Creator in vain if you do these acts while calling yourself a follower of the Creator. Like Aleister Crowley, a devil worshiping demon, would do all these things like this, but he never called himself a follower of the Most High. He was a follower of the devil, and he believed the devil was the Most High. So if you're following these things, you down with this. You down with it. I know you want to be cognitive dissonant and act like you're being excused. No, you're not. Wait a minute. Let's keep going then. Wait a minute. Psalm 106. Let's show them the other stuff. Psalm 106. Show them the other stuff. Psalm 106. Let's begin Psalm 106. I'm going to begin verse 34. Psalm 106, verse 34, down to verse 38. No, wait, down to verse 39. Psalm 34, Psalm 106, Psalm 106, from verse 34 down to verse 39. Psalm 106, from verse 34 down to verse 30. That's right, they were all black. So to say black Hebrew Israelite is kind of like a oxymoronic term, isn't it? There's no such thing, because there's no white Hebrew Israelite. They're just Hebrew Israelite. Either you're grafted into the lineage, or you're not, or you're born into it. Okay. The term black and white, that really came from those German scientists that declared that the Caucasoid was the top of the line. No, the Bible doesn't declare that. Praise the Most High for the word. Psalm 106, from verse 34 to 39. What does it say? They did not destroy the nations concerning whom Yahweh commanded them, but they were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. So the works that we're going to read about right now were what the Hebrews that were apostate learned from the heathen. Verse 36. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus they were filled with their own works and went a-whoring with their own inventions. So the heathen have their own inventions. Christianity is an invention of the heathen. Islam too. So is Judaism. Man-made religions not mentioned in the Bible, but prominently mentioned in society today. Man-made religions, their own inventions. Whereas Abraham is not a man-made religion. We saw it. Abraham was given from the Most High, as was his son Isaac, as was his son Israel, and the nation, a chosen nation of Israel. Praise the Most High. Revelation chapter 9. Revelation chapter 9. See how we get all these different witnesses? We don't went to Moses. We went to Chronicles. We went to Psalm, David, right? Now we're going to John, Revelation. Oh, of course, we went to Paul too, the favorite of the Christians. All right. Revelation chapter 9. Revelation chapter 9. Let's look at Revelation 9. And I'm going to begin, let's see here. I'm going to begin at verse 20. Revelation chapter 9, verse 20 and 21. Oh, you thought this was all in the past, right? Right? Okay. Revelation chapter 9, verses, you thought that the Most High wouldn't have mentioned this, what y'all call conspiracy theories, thousands of years before y'all was doing it. Revelation chapter 9, verses 20 and 21. Watch this. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. So people stealing, worshiping sorcery, right? Spilling innocent blood. And when it says gold and silver that they worship, very easy, brother. Let me ask y'all, are not Christian churches businesses? Aren't they businesses? 501c3 is a business. It's a business that's tax exempt. Is that correct? A tax exempt business. Now, that ain't new either. If you recall, when Joseph was in Egypt, the people were selling the Pharaoh their land because they ain't have no money to buy the grain. So Joseph was taking all the land for Pharaoh, except one group of people. The priests in Egypt did not give their land. They would get the grain, but not sell their land. Why? Because it was against the law. Look at that. The heathen priests that practiced the things that the Bible told they practiced in Leviticus 18, they didn't get their land taken. They could sacrifice children, worship the sun. They didn't get their land taken. Okay, so Christianity is a business, and a business involves money, gold and silver, brass. Well, nowadays it doesn't. It just involves dollars, paper. I mean, that's what it is. It's paper on a special ink with a special piece of paper. It's paper that they worship. Paper. Look at that. So we see the cognitive dissonance is getting worse. It's going to get worse, brethren. Oh, yes. What does the Bible say? One more scripture. Let's look at this one more. Let's look at one more. We done showed you all a lot of stuff, right? This they used to say in Living Color. Show them the other stuff. So we showed you a lot of stuff. Okay, first off, let me see here. I'm looking at Second Thessalonians. I'm going to begin 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. Verse 7 to 11. Actually, 7 to 12. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 7 to 12. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Most understand that. That is pagan Rome being replaced by the Holy See of Rome, the Church of Rome, which is Christianity. Okay. And then shall that wicked be revealed. That's the Christian church. Whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Wait, you mean looks like a lamb, but speaks like a dragon? Yes. The working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So in order to be saved, you have to receive a love for truth. You can't say you have it if the Bible is telling you you have to receive it. Wait, before we continue, do you understand that? Y'all get that? Like, in other words, you can't say, I have the truth, I love truth. Okay, well, when did you receive? How did you receive a love for the truth? He says that they might receive, that they might be saved. They did not receive a love for the truth that they might be saved. Most people are not receiving a love for the truth, especially in these three man-made Abrahamic religions. Okay, wait a minute. Verse 11. And for this cause, what cause? The cause of not receiving a love of the truth. And for this cause, Yahweh shall send them strong delusion. See, your cognitive dissonance is going to be so strong that you're going to believe it. You're going to believe lies. That they should believe a lie. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. See, what our enemies are doing is playing with death. They think they got an agreement with death, that they're going to escape death. I mean, eternal death. No, you're not going to escape. The Bible says your agreement with death shall be disannulled. You thought you had one? You don't. And your cognitive dissonance is going to turn into permanent belief. Keep playing. Keep playing. We done gave you the laundry list, just a partial laundry list. Slavery, black codes, KKK, Jim Crow, redlining, war on drugs, mass incarceration, 3 strikes law. These are just a few things that you have set up directly against us. Do you notice that, brethren? All of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these little 8 things were not set up against anybody else, just us. All 8. Now, yes, they incarcerated Japanese people in World War II. Yes, they did. But then they gave them reparations. The Japanese got reparations for being put into concentration camps. But us, no. Slavery, reparations, no. Black codes, no. They still haven't done anything about the KKK, which is a Christian organization. Jim Crow, oh yes, they supposedly got rid of Jim Crow. That's what all our brothers died about. Redlining, no, that ain't changed. If you got black neighborhoods, they weren't black neighborhoods because we came from Europe and decided to come to our cousins. We were brought here in chains, and neighborhoods were created to enslave us. Still exist. War on drugs. Let me see now. Did black people create the mechanism, the formula to make crack and introduce it into their neighborhoods? Did black people do that? Did we create the formula that made crack? Taking the product, putting soda in it, bacon in it, and making it rock. Did we create that? Or was that given to us from somebody? Did we go to Middle East and get poppy seeds and make them into cocaine and bring it to our neighborhoods? Did we do that? No, we didn't do that. That was part of what the government did and created a problem. And then they used it to create what they called the war on drugs. Bill Bennett was the first war czar, drug czar, to arrest us and throw us in jail for life. And then make the prisons into schools of creating animals. That's the war on drugs. Mass incarceration, 3 strikes law, that was also from the Republicans, with sign off of Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, who called our people super predators. Hillary, that we're supposed to be voting for? I don't think so. But anyway, these are just a few things that they directly, and we ain't like, there's the syphilis, gonorrhea drug experiments, there's drugs in the meat, there's the sugar attack on us. Listen, we just touching the surface here. And they're not even repenting of these things. Okay? Always remember, brethren, the heathen want to kill you. Pray to the Most High that he guide you in the way you should go, because he will guide your steps in your path and have you avoid these traps that they have set for us. We're not smart enough to do it because there's too many. Look at this. And it's just tip of the iceberg. We're not smart enough to do it. But the Creator is eternal in his wisdom, and he shows his people the way to go. Follow the Creator. Pray to him. Read his word. See how we went into the word today and unveiled all the stuff that they've been talking about was conspiracy theories? Look at that. Praise the Most High. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Lord knows they ain't going to have none. Shalom.